Have you ever stopped to think about how people living in the United States have a variety of entities who make rules and regulations that affect our daily lives? We have the federal government making laws that impact everyone. Then we have the individual states coming up with their own laws. There are cities, townships, and school districts that also have their own rules. And in some states, counties can also make up laws, so this got me thinking about how some states, like Texas, have hundreds of counties, while others have just a handful of counties. So, for fun, let's review those with the fewest counties. Number 10, Nevada. Nevada comes in at 7th place for land area, but it comes in first place for most land owned by the federal government, with 80.1% of the 110,572 square miles belonging to Uncle Sam. That's part of why a large swath of the state has a population density of 1 per person or fewer per square mile. There are 17 counties in Nevada, but 8 of them don't even have 10,000 residents. There are 3,177,772 people living in the state, but the majority of them are located in Las Vegas, Carson City, and Reno. Number 9, Maine. The state of Maine is heavily forested, with the Appalachian Mountains running through the northern part of the state. They call that area the North Maine Woods, and quite a bit of it is owned by private lumber corporations. There are 155 unincorporated townships within that region, but no actual towns and no paved roads, so very few people live up there. Maine has 35,380 square miles spread across 16 counties, but only 5 of them have more than 100,000 people living in them. Most of Maine's 1,385,340 residents live near the coastline. Number 8, Arizona. The 6th largest state for total area, with 113,653 square miles, is Arizona. It's also ranked 8th in terms of land owned by the federal government. According to the Arizona Tourism website, it's the only state to contain 4 distinct desert regions: the Chihuahuan, the Mojave, the Sonoran, and the Great Basin Desert. Because it's mostly desert, you'll find most of the state's 7,359,197 residents living in or around the county seats, like Phoenix, Tucson, Flagstaff, Yuma, and Nogales. But in some of the state's 15 counties, even the county seats don't have many people, like in Apache, La Paz, and Greenlee counties. The population density for Arizona is only 63 per square mile. Number 7, Vermont. The Green Mountain State has the second lowest population after Wyoming, with only 647,064 residents. It also has the lowest population for a state capital, with only 8,023 residents in Montpelier, so Vermont is different from many other states. They only have one of what most people would think of as a major city, Burlington, and it only has 44,595 residents. That's including the University of Vermont's population. The state only has 8 communities with a population over 5,000. In some of the 14 counties, even the county seats are lacking people. In fact, there are so few people living in Caledonia, Essex, and Orleans counties that Vermonters have given that area the whimsical nickname the Northeast Kingdom. Overall, they have a population density of only 69 per square mile. Number 6, Massachusetts. Massachusetts is one of the smallest states in the nation, but it's also one of the most densely populated states. When you average it out across the entire state, the population density is 920 per square mile. You'll find most of Massachusetts' 6,981,974 residents living in the eastern part of the state, specifically in or around Boston. And there's a reason for that. The eastern half of Massachusetts has plenty of opportunities for its residents, while the other half, referred to as Western Mass, has been struggling. Many of the communities in that area have high unemployment rates, high poverty rates, and infrastructure issues, such as a lack of internet access. There are 14 counties in Massachusetts, but the 4 that make up Western Mass draw in fewer new residents. Number 5, New Hampshire. New Hampshire is slightly smaller than its similarly shaped neighbor Vermont in terms of land area at 8,954 square miles, but they have twice the population, with 1,395,231 people calling the Granite State home, giving them a population density of 153 per square mile. Most of those people live in just 4 of the state's 10 counties, with the largest number residing in Hillsborough County, primarily in Nashua and Manchester. With the exception of the city of Berlin, most of the northern part of the state, made up of just Coos County, is ignored by people. Number 4, Connecticut. Connecticut is another small New England state with a land area of only 4,842 square miles, yet there are 3,626,205 people packed into the state, giving them a population density of around 744 per square mile. Not all of the state feels the love, though. Windham County, in the northeastern part of the state, is much more rural, so residents have taken to calling that area the Quiet Corner. Most of Connecticut's residents live near the coastline or in the central part of the state in 3 of the state's 8 counties. Number 3, Hawaii. Hawaii is made up of a series of islands, so the concept of counties being applied there is funny to me, especially when there are only 5 counties. And then you see that one island, Molokai Island, actually has 2 different counties, so it's even weirder. One of those counties, Kalawai, only has a population of 82. It's the smallest county in the U.S. by land area at 11.99 square miles, and the second smallest by population. The reason this tiny county exists is that it is cut off from the rest of Molokai Island by cliffs, and you can only get there by way of a mule trail. Oh, and it also used to be a leper colony, up until 1969. As for the rest of the counties, the majority of Hawaii's 1,440,196 residents live in Honolulu County, which is officially known as the City and County of Honolulu. It encompasses both the city and the rest of the island of Oahu. Since a lot of the state is sparsely populated, the population density is only 6.8 people per square mile. Number 2, Rhode Island. The tiniest of the states, Rhode Island, has a land area that is 37 miles wide and 48 miles long, but they have 400 miles of coastline, which is why they call this the Ocean State. They also call it Little Rhodey, which is kind of cute. Despite its small size, it's somehow able to fit 1,093,734 residents, making it the second most densely populated state in the country, with 1,061 people per square mile. They're also able to have 5 counties, yet no county governments, which makes little sense to me. Instead, they have municipalities to handle governmental issues. Number 1, Delaware. Delaware is another tiny coastal state with an area of only 1,948 square miles of land. It is home to 1,018,396 people, but a little over half of them live in Newcastle County, the northernmost county, and smallest by area out of the 3 counties in Delaware. Delaware draws people and businesses in the finance and insurance sectors thanks to its corporate laws that make it friendly for them. More than half of all companies listed on the New York Stock Exchange and about 3/5 of Fortune 500 companies are headquartered in Delaware. That helps to make this a densely populated state with 1,338 people per square mile. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you really liked it, I have merch available, or you can hit the thanks button below to help support my work. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I remain stuck in the cornfield.